SA Crypto, South Africa's largest blockchain community and news outlet.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to this edition of the SA Crypto video podcast. And with me is the Chief Ecosystem Officer of Linum Labs. Welcome, Devin Krantz. It's great to have you on the show.
Oh, thanks so much, James. It's great to be on the show with you.
I know that it's been a very busy couple of weeks for you. You guys have just finished up with ETHCapeTown. Just tell us how that went for you, and was it as busy as everyone sort of thought it was from the outside?
Yeah, it was kind of a wild ride, I think, going into it. We've actually been planning this now, initial stages, for about a year, more or less. It's kind of when the first thoughts came about. So we've had a bit of time to plan it, but it was an incredible event. It was super busy. I think we had about 192 hackers. Actually, I don't want to be quoted wrong on the numbers because I know we just got them redone. But there were quite a few people that came through. It was incredible to see as well the number of local participants that came through. I think it was about 68% South African. And it seemed to just have a really good vibe all around. And I'm really happy to have been a part of this event and have been able to bring it through to South Africa.
Tell us about Linum Labs' involvement in ETHCapeTown. Was it you guys that actually brought the project to Cape Town, or how did it all work?
Sure. So Linum Labs was a partner of the event. So it was in partnership with ETHGlobal. ETHGlobal is an organization that runs these type of hackathons across the globe. So they've done quite a few others. I know New York is coming up soon, and also India. So they run these events kind of in all the countries, but this is the first one that they've done now in Africa, actually on the entire African continent, which was really cool. I got into contact with them about a year ago with my co-founder, Paul, and we just started opening the conversation, telling them, like, we've been building up this ecosystem here in South Africa for the past 3 years, and we would really love to bring this event back home. And that's kind of when the conversation started. And since then, we've been looking at venues, looking at who we can bring in, looking at partners, and seeing if there was an appetite for it. And after this event, yeah, there definitely was. So we worked with ETHGlobal into bringing this here and making it happen and bring everyone on board.
So for those that don't know, what exactly is ETHGlobal?
So ETHGlobal is the organization that runs these hackathons. And ETHCapeTown more specifically is kind of, so what we did this weekend basically is we had 3 days of hacking. We had an opening ceremony with a keynote by Vitalik, followed by a couple of workshops from people in the space and some of our sponsors. And then we actually spent 36 hours straight coding solutions to problems. And we came out with about 33 working solutions, which is really incredible for the numbers. But yeah, so that's basically what the hackathon is. And the point of it is to share, grow, learn, and communicate with other people in the industry. We had some people that were brand new to Ethereum and blockchain. And what really these events are about is it's about learning. And I think that we really accomplished that. So it was, yeah, quite amped with it.
So how does ETHCapeTown fit into the ETHGlobal ecosystem?
So ETHGlobal works with local partners in whichever country that they kind of base themselves in for the particular hackathons. And we were the partners for this one. ETHCapeTown kind of fits in that it was the first one in Africa. And I think we're actually going to do it again as well, probably next year. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. I think we learned a lot at this one. Thankfully, nothing went terribly wrong, so very easy to deal with. Yeah, so ETHCapeTown kind of fits in that it was the first ETHGlobal hackathon in Africa, and we try to encourage as much as possible participation from African countries to come through as well. We had quite a few people from Botswana, Uganda, Ghana.
Wow.
So it was quite a mixed group of people. I do think it was a little bit, I think, restrictive in terms of it's quite difficult getting the costs, and travel through Africa is quite rough for people that maybe couldn't afford to come through. So next year we want to see if we can make provisions for people to fly through if they need like sponsorship.
Right. Now tell us about those 33 solutions that were completed. Can you list some of those solutions? What were some of the highlights for you?
So it was actually, I was one of the judges as well for the weekend.
Okay.
It was incredible to see the amount of projects that did come through. And they were all so good. It was almost impossible to choose the top ones. One of my favorite ones that actually did make it into the top four was an app called Wildcards, which was kind of using Harburger's tax to fund donations towards black rhinos in South Africa.
Wow.
So it was quite like a nice local use case mixed in with an integration of the tech. And quite a few of the projects did actually also take South Africa because there were so many solutions to kind of work with. A lot of them did have a South African focus, and it was really incredible to see the tech and blockchain tech being brought into the South African and African context to solve real world problems like that. There was another one that's been quite popular, which was Sebenzai. And this was a team that had never worked on blockchain tech before. And what they kind of did is using voice recognition. They basically built an AI that used blockchain as a proof of work, so you could get the workers to talk their way to get courser translations through. And you could basically be paid for your translations via the system.
And which was the winning project? Tell us about that one.
So there was top 4 winning projects.
Okay, so there were four winners that all shared sort of equal honors as the leading winners of the hackathon, right?
Yeah, very much so. So what was also really incredible about this hackathon is that it wasn't so much a competition as a giant collaboration. Walking through the tables around Saturday, everyone was super chilled out, helping one another. If one team couldn't find a solution to a problem in their code, other teams would gladly step in and help out. I've never seen so many good vibes and happy collabs in a hackathon type competition before. So it was incredible to see that kind of growth amongst all of the participants. But yeah, there was top 14.
Were there prizes for the top 4 and those that participated?
Yes, so there was a combination of the ETHCapeTown prize and then also sponsor prizes. So the sponsors that came through would pick teams that were relevant to what they worked on. So if you worked with Dai, then Maker would sponsor your prize if it was a good working use case. There was also New Cypher, who also sponsored quite a few of the prizes. So there were a couple of extra additional awards that I'm not certain on the numbers, so I don't want to get them wrong. But they're all available. You can go and check out all of the information on the ETHCapeTown website /prizes, I think.
And for those that want to get involved in ETHGlobal, what would you advise?
So these events they're super collaborative, they're super open. We wanted to be as unrestrictive as possible. And I know that the ETHGlobal team is absolutely phenomenal in what they do. I can highly recommend maybe going through to one of the future hackathons. So the next one's coming up in New York or India. I would highly recommend that you guys apply and take part. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind experience, and you will learn a lot, and you'll meet a lot of good friends. There's different ways to get involved. You can also mentor if you have some previous skills, or you can volunteer if you don't want to hack, but you want to be involved. So I had a great team of about 30 volunteers, actually, that came through and helped me keep the event running throughout the weekend.
And I believe, Dev, that you had a couple of announcements yourselves. Linum Labs made some big announcements at the end of the weekend. Tell us about some of those.
Yeah, so Linum Labs has been growing quite a bit actually in the past few months, past year actually. We've recently also just gotten a grant in Ocean tokens from Simon de la Riviere. We've also just opened our office now in Cape Town. So it's been quite a good vibe, I think, all around with the team. We're working on quite a bit of stuff. Really, really exciting time. We've just opened an office now in Basel in Switzerland as well, and we're soon to launch one in Berlin. And we're busy working on 2 products at the moment, Molecule and Protea. You guys can go and check them out. I think there's links to our website. Yeah, it's a very exciting space, and I'm very excited to be involved in it.
And the backstory of Linum Labs, what's the founding story? How did you guys get to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. So the company started about 2016. My co-founder Paul actually founded the company back then. It was a time in South Africa, I think, when not too many people knew about blockchain or Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the other techs around it, and even trying to find information online was quite tough. So Paul started deep diving into the topic quite a bit and training himself up, and then we actually landed quite a few big clients through that, and we started doing training and consulting. just kind of part-time almost. So we worked with clients like Barclays and F&B and Deloitte, and so we've been doing like a lot of big trainings with them and consulting projects. We've done a bit of training and consulting, and through that we started building up the ecosystem as well, and working on the community and giving back a lot of free resources and free trainings and workshops and meetups, and that's kind of where the meetups came from as well. We run one in Joburg, Cape Town and Durban, and also in 10 other African countries, and in Berlin and Switzerland. So, I mean, we're quite active in that scene and in providing people with resources. And it's kind of through the community building that we started realizing that there were a whole bunch of developers. So our community started getting a little bit more technical. We hired our first few developers, and then we actually decided that we've reached a point in our company when training and consulting can only get us so far, but we really want to contribute back to the ecosystem that we came from and contribute back to the community by building things. So that's kind of, we want to make a difference and a positive impact in the world, and we're doing that now through our products. And yeah, that's kind of our story.
And people want to get in touch with you, your website address and things like that?
Yes, you're welcome to reach out to us via our website or Twitter. Twitter is a popular one if you want more of a faster response. I think it's a little bit busy, crazy at the moment, but yeah, please reach out. It's always happy to talk to new people looking to get into the ecosystem and getting involved in the space. Great.
Well, just in closing, Devin, give us any advice for software developers who may just be entering the blockchain space right now. What would you say to them?
It's going to be a wild journey, man. No, it's a really interesting space to be in. It doesn't, maybe from the outside it looks a lot different on how it actually is, but the people that I've worked with in the space, in the blockchain space, are some of the most open and kind and generous and good-hearted people. And I don't think you'll regret at all making the move into this industry. It's definitely very unique, and I'm very proud to be a part of such a good culture here. So.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Devin. Devin Krantz, the Chief Ecosystem Officer of Linum Labs. We appreciate your time. Thanks so much for giving us a full recap of ETHCapeTown.
No problem. Thank you so much, James, for inviting me.
SA Crypto, South Africa's largest blockchain community and news outlet.